It's time for Geocache Talk. Whether you are at work, in the car, or wherever you are, we hope you enjoy this show about the great sport of geocaching. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can be part of the adventure tonight in the chat room and participate with others as they watch the show. If you are listening later, please give it a like and subscribe on your favorite podcasting app so that you can get all of the weekly Geocache Talk goodness.
Well, big thanks to the Travel Bugs for the music and our featured patrons, Sodak Zach, the Deadliest Cachers, Terrell 2. Hey, I saw him. He's in the chat room. Bob Billy, the Redneck Geocacher, Team D&D, Peachy 1276, the No Code Geocachers, Marsipanic, Bricker John, Fire Safe, and our new patrons, Kitty Catch, Finlay and his Drudge, Seebeck Tribe. Seebeck Tribe had to bail out a little early tonight, but appreciate you getting on for a moment. Shark C, Curious KDB, Gene Hunter, the Caching Jeeper, Fam Gustafson, B Mars 7391, Speed City, Curiosity Girl, and Glowworm 77. How about that one, Jesse? Glowworm 77. Oh, I got you on mute. Okay. Now what do you think? Is that a good one?
I'm not even going to repeat it. You had me on mute. I'm hurt. I'm offended.
Sorry.
And it was gold too.
Oh, do it again. Come on.
No, I forgot what I said now.
Okay,
So
never mind.
we have to move on. I'm crying a little bit. So
I'm sorry. Oh, so many buttons to push at the start. Tom says he picked up Bricker John's travel bug this weekend. Sweet. Yeah. I like it. It looks like the game. What was that game? You did where you had, remember the old game where you had to
move the bricks around?
Yeah, you had to knock all the bricks out. What was it?
Was it Tetris?
No, it was you had like a wall of bricks in front of you, and you had to you basically tried to keep it was like Pong, but you kept knocking the bricks out as you went. Somebody else.
I played it. I don't know what the name of it is.
Yeah, I think it was right. I think it was Brick Breaker. So
there you go.
Tetris. No, Tom, not Tetris. Not that one.
Although,
Breakout. Owen from KC. Breakout. There you go. Okay.
There we go.
All right.
That may be the earliest time we've ever gone down the rabbit hole in the show.
I know it might be. Well, we can't. We got a lot to cover tonight. All right. If you'd like to become part of the crazy bunch, patrons, head on over to patreon.com/geocache talk for more details. Patrons get the new blackout coin. Oh, yeah. Everybody's reaching. Everybody. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There we go.
Mine's out of reach, but it's really good looking.
That's good. Exactly. I've been there. Geocaching items during the year, bonus content, invites to special events, and we're going to talk about that special event here in a moment. It's only for patrons. Support levels start at as little as Bison Tube level, which is $3 a month. But let me welcome first my co-host Jesse.
Good evening, and I'm really looking forward to this one. This is one of those that we talk about a lot of times, advanced shows. This is not a basic show. Just fair warning for anybody. We're going to jump right in tonight, assuming some basic knowledge of Project DC. So
we're going to blow right past the beginning.
Yeah, so there's old shows we've done on the more basic level. This is not it. So
no.
But even if you're not familiar with it, really just hang on and see what you can get out of it, and you'll probably catch up. Cachers stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's like anything. When you see some of the advanced features, you're like, "Ooh, it's too much," and then you're like, "But maybe it's not too much. Maybe I do need to get involved in this thing." So, let's jump right into show 166 as we welcome back to the show Nathan Lewis, SuperNate.
Hello,
Lewis, aka. Welcome back.
I thank you very much. I'm happy to be here tonight.
Thank you for coming back, my friend. It's always fun having you on. We had I forgot that whole thing about last time. You got called because you're a firefighter. Thank you for your service, my friend.
Yep.
Yeah. Got called.
We got called just before the show was going to go live. Got called to a pretty big priority call in our area, and so I got tied up and couldn't make it on the show until about 10 minutes before it was over.
Right. So he's got a lot of Project DC pent up inside of him. When he wants to talk about
there you go.
We're going to get to a lot of it tonight. So, all right, let's get through the news or items of note that we need to get to at the beginning real quick like. Jesse, start us off.
Okay, so the first one, and we'll have to do it real quick because if not, we'll get to talking about it.
Yep.
This is one of those items in the news for another show. So we're going to be working on something coming up. Yes, I can't drink while I'm talking.
You can do it in a minute. No, it's a good one.
So this is something we're going to be working up, a project probably for future shows. But the idea is that we'll just leave right now is if you were designing the perfect geocaching town, so not just for yourself, but for everybody, and you had as much space and money as you wanted to. Did we lose Nate?
Oh, I don't think so. Do we? Oh, we did. Briefly. Okay.
Okay. So if you're designing a perfect town from scratch and you can do anything you wanted to, what would you do? How would you design that town? So start thinking about that. We're going to be asking some questions coming up. There's going to be some polls coming up, and this will lead into something bigger later on.
Yeah, I was going to tell you real quick that I've actually put a date together, and because there's a possibility. Do you want to talk about the possibility? Or you want to leave it out for now?
Not yet. Let's don't do it yet. Let's say start getting your ideas together. We're going to start soliciting information, and there'll be a big project coming up in the future.
Show 171 is where it's currently slated. That's October 20th.
That's soon.
It is very soon. Well, but it's going to be on people's minds.
So let's do this then. Start thinking about those, but start sending in some information. So geocachetalk@gmail.com. If you were designing, it didn't have to be all formal. Just if you were designing the perfect geocaching town, what would you include? Everything that you would include. Just send us in lists of all kinds of ideas, brainstorming information, and we'll explain what it's for later. So,
right.
Okay. So, and that's all we're going to say, because if not, we'll talk about it all night long.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Let me switch y'all around real quick. All right. Next item, we're just going to briefly mention. I was doing some looking periodically. I'll look at the show downloads, and we're talking about the audio side of things, not YouTube, but just audio podcast side, if you want to think about it that way. And I happened to notice something. I was like, oh, well, August was a pretty good month. And so I went back and looked, and we had 5,000 downloads. And I was like, wow. And I started looking, and I think that's our best month ever, is to have, it was over 5,000 downloads of the podcast in that month. And then, of course, overall, we're over 75,000 downloads. If you can wrap your head around 75,000 downloads.
That is a lot.
It is. And we always mention, it's 60. I haven't looked at the exact number of countries, because Podbean does a little weird deal, but I mean, we're in many countries. Definitely geocachetalk@gmail.com. If you're listening in a country that we normally may not mention, and we'll definitely mention your country. We thank you so much for being there and for listening to the show. Hopefully it's been informative and entertaining in our 3 years plus now.
Yeah.
And then another quick mention, because we're going to get into Project GC, because Scott's in the chat room and he's going to yell at me if we don't get to the topic quick enough. Just kidding. Love you, buddy. We just added Glowworm 77. North Dakota, by the way. Shout out to the Dakotans. The Dakotans folk.
One of my favorite parts of the country. Love the Dakota.
Oh, good.
Oh, I love it. I spent a year in North Dakota. I loved it.
Oh, wow. Awesome. There you go. Shout out up there. If you join, and this is not really anything I don't think maybe people didn't realize, but even if you join now, I'll put you in the leaderboard. And so Amy is working on figuring out, like, she's got some goals, Jesse. She's like, oh, if I get this many, I think I can get back I can get in the top 50 real quick, and blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, you might be able to, because it's it's pretty funny.
Yeah. And not only that, so yes, you can get on the leaderboard if you're joining in now. So even late, you can get in and still play and have fun and do all those goals. But even more importantly, you get a chance to be part of the gathering of information from headquarters. Yeah. So that's really, the fun part is getting to play in it. The really valuable part is that we get to supply information to help them shape how they're going to roll it out in the future. So don't forget that part. I mean, obviously the competition part is fun, because competition is awesome. Yeah. But you get to be a part of, getting to kind of tell them, this is what's good, this is what's not good, and these are the ideas that you probably should implement from a very active group. So that's the part that's equally as cool, I think.
Oh, interesting. So Owen says that the top 3 have all done the hand that's in Nebraska. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, your Curiosity Girls say only get 10 points, but those are points that
so that's not
that we need
100% accurate, though, because one of yours, the oldest one in Texas, is a multi, and that would count as a Jasmer cache, and it would be more than 10 points. So just
It would
Yeah. There's no special ones for Jasmer, but there is other options for Jasmer that are not just regular traditionals.
Eric did it, and he says he got 16,000 points. He's over 16,000 now, I guess.
So before we get to the main show, I got to mention one last thing for leaderboard. It just so happens that going caching happens right towards the end of the leaderboard, and a few of us are going, so I know I'm going to get a few points on the board during that event. Normally, I just play around and talk at events, but going caching this year, I think I'm going to get some caches this time.
There we are, going caching 2009.
I'm going to get I've got a rental car already reserved, and I'm going to tear that thing up. So
fire it up. Can I play my sound?
Oh gosh.
Do it.
Terrible.
I know it's terrible. Are we turning into that show? Hey, it's a great night tonight. You guys awesome? Here we go.
I need to take that button away from you. You know what? Let's get that away from Gary and let's get into the show.
All right, let's get back on.
Hey, going caching. I know this is another show. This is something we're going to talk about later, but I understand both of you are coming. You are going to have an outstanding time. One of the best mega events I've ever been to is going caching. They do an outstanding job. They spare no expense. It's a great event. You're going to really enjoy your time.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it big time.
It's crazy, Nate. The things that they got like a whole acting troupe, and they build these elaborate. I mean, it's like they go out. I mean, it reminds me of the people at Christmas time, which I love, and people will put out 1 billion lights, and they've been working on it since Easter, getting ready for Christmas. And so going caching, sort of the same way. It's like when going caching 2018 was done, they immediately turn around and get started, and they pour all their
great.
Yeah.
It's great. And I don't want to spoil too much. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this upcoming going caching, but I'll tell you from going to this one right here.
Yep.
Right here.
Show that one again. Let's see it.
Here we go. This shirt, I believe, was from 2 years ago. There you go. 2017 right there.
I like that.
And I tell you, they have side events that happen throughout the week. And one of them was at one of the old theaters there in Rome. And I was looking around at everybody, and I was looking around what was going on. I was thinking, this is a geocaching event. Like, pinch me. I must be dreaming. This is probably one of the most unique geocaching events I've ever been to. But that's just the tip of the iceberg of what they do. And the entire city of Rome is participating in geocaching. It's out of this world. If anybody's listening that may be on the fence about going, believe me, you will not be sorry by attending.
Am I going to be looked at weird since I have a pirate costume? I'm just going to wear it all week.
Yeah,
I'll actually smell like a pirate by the end of the week.
It's your pirate regalia.
Yep.
Yeah, full pirate costume the whole time.
Yeah.
I've got some stuff worked out too. I'm coming in a little bit later, but I'll be there. And
will you be dressed like a pirate though?
I am.
All right.
I've got the whole thing.
I will be. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
My wife has been taking care of that. I'll definitely be a pirate.
That's awesome.
There we go.
That's awesome. Man, I'm fired up. All right, let's get into it. We're 15 minutes in. Scott, we're starting 15 minutes, buddy. So there you go. We got it. We got it under the required thing. So all right. So some stuff about Project GC that, again, we're not going to get into tonight because that's the whole point. We're getting into advanced, but even if you've never used it before, start out, go to the website, pull it up, take a look at it. In fact, let me go ahead and share one of my screens and we can kind of start the process.
So here's the question I would ask to start off.
Yeah.
So Project GC and then geocaching.com. Which one do you think you spend more time on?
Project GC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
me too.
For me, Project GC and I don't really maybe spend a lot of time on Cache Tour, but I combine the two. And this is not we're not going to talk a lot about it. We're going to mention a couple things, like we're going to mention Cache Tour. We're going to mention a couple of basic stuff, but we're going to really get into some of the things and stuff that you guys are going to really take over this whole thing. I'm just going to be your the keyboard guy for this. But so real quick, let's talk about counties. Let's start with counties because
it's Gary's new favorite obsession.
well, no, actually, it's the next one, Jesse. It's the challenges. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, we want to talk a little bit about counties, and actually, we're going to talk. Like I said, I only want to mention Cache Tour briefly, but this screen, as you can see, is showing this purple line, right through here. And let me go ahead and focus in a little bit, so you can kind of see. And this is based on a trip that we've got planned with Susan and I. We're trying to wrap up the top of the Panhandle for us. And you can, once you've got it kind of mapped out, let me go to the other one, which is the heading out.
And so for the audio listeners, what Gary's showing is a map of Texas broken down into counties.
Yep.
And you will notice if you see the video that most of them are green now. He's got one little section of green, which on Project GC indicates that you haven't cached the county yet.
I got that, and I got this little section down here.
Yeah, that's an impressive map. That is awesome.
That is a great map.
Love it.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun. And it's kind of like, well, what are we going to do now? It's like, well, we got surrounding states and we've got challenges to deal with. But that's for another show.
But this is one of the things, and kind of what you're alluding to as you pull that up is this is even more advanced, but Cache Tour and Project GC is tools together.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about a really powerful tool for planning.
Yeah. And some things that I do, and Nate, tell me kind of how you would maybe do this. Let's use this county down here for an example. So obviously, we're staying in Victoria when we go down here. So do you start to do what I kind of do, which is I want to kind of look at my route, and I think we kind of talked about this a little bit last time, but do you pick your route? Like if you're looking at this right now, you're like, oh, well, obviously we're going through here. So are you going, let me pull up Goliad County and we'll look at their.
So when you just clicked on that, you clicked on the county and now went to another screen where it shows all the caches in that county, right?
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Which for that particular county, there's not much to choose from. So it will be
really not.
It'll be fairly easy to pick one. And if I see a county and it's got very few to choose from, a lot of times I'll just manually, pick, which one's going to be best for the route. But in other counties where there are lots of options, many times what I'll do, I'm huge on favorite points. I'm huge on I personally like getting caches that are regular large size caches, right. To qualify for the county. And so more often than not, if I'm in a state that has a lot of cache options, I like that one right there. What county is that right there?
Matagorda. I clicked on Matagorda.
So there's lots of options there. So what I will typically do when I see, you could see that map and you say, man, which one of these am I going to choose? I mean, I'm not going to click on every single one and see what it has for favorite points. So that's another thing where Project GC comes in very handy is you have tools. If you go up to the tools column right there, I'm sorry, statistics. My apologies, statistics. And you can
go up to statistics.
Correct.
Gary, you could probably make that full screen.
Oh, am I not full screen? Let me go that. Hang on.
Now, so for people that are watching the video, Gary's putting Project GC up on full screen.
There you go.
And, there you go, full screen.
Yep. Okay. So
and I'll try to talk also for the audio listeners too, but you have the statistics tab. Right. When you open that up, there's a lot you can choose from there. And it's broke down into different categories like general, profile, cache stats, trackable stats, and so on. Yep. Under cache stats, you have top favorites and you have top favorites percent. There's another one called top favorite Wilson. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100%. I don't understand that one quite as much. Somebody else may be able to give their input a little bit more on that. But typically, I will use top favorite and top favorite percent. And what those are, if you just click on one, go ahead and click on top favorites.
Okay.
It will bring up a screen right here that you just enter in your profile name. All you have to do instead of typing it out, you can just click on the person icon right there. It will put your name in there for you.
Cool.
Click the American flag icon that's right next to cache location. That will automatically insert United States.
Cool.
Next to that drop down, you can drop down to select your state. So we'll select Texas.
Okay.
And then once you've selected that, then you can pick the county. Correct. Now, if you didn't select a county, this is another thing that's pretty cool, is if you don't select a county and you just click filter from there, it will actually show you the top favorite caches in the entire state, which is pretty neat. If you wanted to see which one, has the most favorite points.
There you go.
So there's Tombstone, that's the oldest in Texas, is it not?
Correct.
Yep. So Tombstone looks like it has the most favorite points in the entire state. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Hey, you've done that one right here.
I have. Yeah.
Sherlock Ranch.
Yeah, I've done that one too.
So if you click on it, it does open a different screen, which I'm not going to show right now, but it'll open up
It'll link to GC, right?
It will link to the cache page. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, it pulls up the cache page. So you can get it.
But if you go back and you actually select the county that you're wanting to, that you're researching to find a cache.
And now you would go right here to filters to do that, right? You wouldn't go all the way back out.
That's correct. Yep. You just click filters.
Click on the drop down for filters.
Uh-huh.
We'll pick Matagorda was one we were looking at.
Yeah.
Matagorda County. Where'd it go? There you are.
So what he's doing is he's selected the United States, he's selected Texas, and then now he's selected the individual county that he wants, and there's Matagorda County.
Oh wow, this one has quite a bit.
So now you can easily see at the top of the list which ones are the highest favorited in the entire county. And I'll tell you, for my preference, this is my personal preference. Everyone does it differently. I love travel bug hotels. My wife loves travel bugs. So that very top one right there, Peacock Paradise, chances are pretty high that I'm going to be picking that one as the cache that I do for that county. And then what I'll do when I pick caches, personally, I will pick caches for the counties before I pick a route.
Yeah,
and then
cool. I'll pull up that cache too real quick.
Yeah.
We're talking about it.
Now, so the bars, so it usually pulls up, and when it's pulling up those lists, it pulls up, like a bar chart, but a horizontal bar chart.
Right.
And the colors I've noticed are either green, blue, or black.
Yes.
Yeah.
So green means you found it.
Correct.
Blue means it's just active. Now, does black mean it's disabled or archived, or?
You can click on it and see. I don't remember right off. But there is a way if you bring Project GC back up.
Black is archived or disabled, I think.
Yeah.
So if you go back to that page that gives you the locations there.
So Gary, you're back on the three of us now instead of the Project GC page.
There's going to be a lot of clicking tonight. I'll tell you that right now.
We're going back to counties, right? You want to go back to counties real quick? Or you want to go? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So go back to the filters that we were just looking at a second ago, where you were selecting the state and the county.
Okay. For favorites?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Stats and the favorites. So go ahead and put in your username again right there.
Yeah.
Select Texas and then select the county.
Okay. Oh, I messed it up.
Yeah. Sometimes, well, you don't have to reset it. Sometimes it will, it has to think sometimes.
There it goes. Oh, no. Hang on.
Just click out of it and click back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't do it I kind of clicked in a weird way to get to it, which was not probably the smartest thing to do. Tools.
It's under statistics.
Oh, statistics. Yeah. See, I'm used top favorites. Let's go to top favorite percentages.
Yeah. Percent is really cool. And I'll explain that one real quick.
Yeah.
So, a favorite points is something that premium members can award to a cache.
Let's go to Tennessee. What's your county in Tennessee?
Hamilton.
Okay. Can we use yours as an example?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Hamilton County. So before you, yeah, that works too.
Sorry.
So you can see right up there, this gives you the Oh, so this is percentage. So I explained that one to you. So premium members award favorite points to caches, and the percentage that you see here is what is the percentage of premium members that have awarded a favorite point for that cache.
Yep.
I'll use this tool a lot when I'm county cache planning. If there's a cache that has over 75%, then you know that it's going to be a good cache because 75% of the premium members that have found that cache have awarded it a favorite.
Yeah.
If you notice, something I'm pretty proud of, that number 2 cache right there, Fitness for Life, that's actually one of mine.
Sweet.
And number 4, Inspector Gadget, is also one of mine.
Nice.
So pretty happy about that. That's pretty neat. So you know that those are going to be pretty good caches. If you go back to filters, just do that drop down right there on filters. I'll show you something else that's really cool. Where it says add filter, I'll use this a lot.
This is where it gets really powerful.
Yeah, this right here is awesome.
How do you want to filter? You want to filter by size? If you're looking for a size, maybe, or
yeah. If you look at there you go. That's what I'm looking at right there. What I'll do is I'll select. I don't care. Well, when I'm county caching, I'll take out. A lot of times I'll take out everything except traditionals, letterboxes, and multis. Is a lot of times what I'll put in.
What's down here? I don't know what those are, but
the where I goes.
I don't know if that's still. I don't think that's a type anymore. Anyway,
I use bar cachers. Come on now.
I love where I go caches. When it comes to county caching, you're limited on time a lot of times.
Absolutely.
So I usually weed those out when it actually comes to a county run.
So one thing you can do here, right, Nate, is you could, let's say we want to do, we do want to, because we're county caching at the moment we're talking about. So if you go here to like traditional, so I can click on traditional and then it's a control click, right? Isn't it?
Correct.
Okay, so I can control click and now it's got that one on there.
Correct. Yep. And also select letterboxes.
Yep. Let me pick letterboxes. That's pretty good.
Yep. And then you got large size there. Hamilton's a pretty big county, so we'll just leave it at large.
Okay.
If you go to add filter,
we'll add regular.
Yeah, go ahead and add regular too. That's a good idea. Add filter. So this is another thing that's really neat is you can add more than one filter. So now we've selected the cache type and size. But true. Now how about we weed out the disabled and archive caches?
Oh yeah.
Or only find the archive caches.
Well,
that's also for another show.
That's a different. We need to do a show on that one for sure, though.
Difficulty terrain's a good one to do.
I personally, I don't really do difficulty in terrain. Okay. Sometimes somebody will list something as a high difficulty, and when I look into it, it looks like it's something that's not going to take a lot of time to do. Yep. So
you click on the dash on the side of it,
right?
It'll take it out. So what you want to do? High disabled.
Yes.
So this is it's a drop down, but it's buttons. So you want to take out archived
and disabled.
That's smart. Okay, we leave that, and then we could do all sorts of stuff. We could do bookmark lists, or how would we do route? What is route? Oh, yeah. You can create routes, and if it's near the route, it'll tell you. It's sort of like the old caching.
Caching along a route.
Yeah, caching along a route. All right.
Hey, somebody in the chat room, Kuhn and Bud, they bring up a good point. Project GC is really like an onion. There are many layers to it. You can use the top layer, and you can get great results. But when you actually peel back the layers and you get down toward the core, Project GC is an extremely powerful tool.
It is.
Yes.
So what you're looking at now with those filters is now you see all of the active caches in the area that are regular or large size caches, and as you can see, again, travel bug hotels are a huge favorite of mine. If I was coming through Hamilton County and I wanted to pick a cache to find in Hamilton County, that BO Cache Travel Bug Hotel,
right?
Which shout out to eHatch is the owner of that cache.
Cool.
One of our active Chattanooga area geocacher members has put out an outstanding travel bug hotel, which I actually have not found yet. I need to get up there and get that one. I've been hearing nothing but good about that. So I would probably pick that cache as the one that I do in Hamilton County when I'm passing through.
Right. You can also create a map. You can tell how many you want in the map.
Well, and that's another good point. If I'm not sure, if I've got several great options there, and just say 50 or 50 or 10 or 20, there you go. That's great. You can create a map and you can actually see where these caches plot on the map. And so if one of them is way out of the area, you say, no, I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do that.
Yeah.
But another one,
right. I'm going to be in Chattanooga, so I don't want to necessarily do.
Yeah.
I may not want to go clear up here for that particular cache.
Yeah.
We're stopping in here.
But on the opposite side of that, let's say you were just going after the top favorite ones in a particular county and you wanted all 10. Well, you've got all 10 or so mapped right there.
Correct. And then you can you can make note of those GCs. You can plot those GCs and put them in the cache tour tool to get an optimal route to find them.
Yep. Actually, you can.
Can you do it from right there?
Yeah. You can.
Or make all those a bookmark list, which would then be ported over to Cache Tour pretty easy.
Yeah, and a lot of times it'll come up with I don't know why that one's not showing, but usually it'll come up and you can actually click on it, and from Project GC you can click on it and add it to Cache Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. Okay.
And I'll be honest, I'm not yet familiar with Cache Tour to be able to tell you how to use it. That's something I have to go back and watch that show so I can learn a little more about it. I've heard it's very, very powerful for cache planning.
It is
it's a multiplier for sure, and so is Project GC. And then when you put them both together, it's pretty wild what you can do with them.
You wouldn't, Gary, you wouldn't have handy what show number that was for Cache Tour, would you?
I'll tell you in a moment. I'll pull it up in a second. All right. So do we want to? Okay. So let's kind of wrap up counties. Let's kind of move on a little bit on that. So, what are some things that you have seen as you've used the product? Let me come back here. Let me stop sharing for a second. As you've used Project GC and actually used it out in the field, and I mean, all of us have the three of us have done that.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things, Jesse, or both of you guys? What are some things that you would want to tell people? Because it's one thing to look at Project GC and go, I want to do. I've mapped out these 50 counties that we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an idea of, I've got it kind of mapped out in a sense, and then you start out. Is there anything as far as Project GC is concerned that you end up doing? I mean, I know for me, I'll mention my first one, and you guys mention what you've come up with. But I have found that one thing I try to do is look before I leave. I double check the caches again to make sure, because I plan. Like I said, I've planned the cache run to Amarillo or the Amarillo area for later in October, and I've got the caches for South Texas for November, but a lot can happen between now and November.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, I think, one of my tips for people who are using it is always double check before you leave if those caches are available. So what are some things that come to y'all's mind as far as when you've already sort of set up your counties?
Outside of challenges, which we're going to get into next, it's kind of nice to be able to do those in the field. But outside of that, I use Project GC mainly at the house also. So I use it for motivation a lot, but like what goal am I going to go after next? Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I use it in the field just as easy, just like I do at the house. Because you can pull it up on your phone.
Yep.
And get all kinds of stats.
Very cool.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
And you can, I don't know. I mean, it's just as easy to use in the field as you use at home, right? You can pull up an area if you're traveling through. You can get really dig down into things based on whatever because I cache kind of sporadically, so I'm not always going after one goal. I'm doing all kinds of things, and I'll do that in the field just as easy.
Yeah.
Puzzles are on there, routes are on there. I don't know. It's hard to say what I do in the field. I usually Project GC mostly before I leave the house. It's kind of my database research beforehand.
Yeah, and I would echo on that. For me, I do Project GC as a research beforehand. Most of what I do is here when it comes to Project GC is here at the house. I rarely use Project GC in the field for me personally. What I will do is once I've selected the caches, those go into a bookmark list, which I can, I'll run a pocket query on that bookmark list prior to leaving on the trip.
Right.
And then I can see anything updated about the cache if any of them are disabled or archived. That does happen quite often when I'm about to plan a trip, about to leave. I notice one of them's disabled, and I'm like, oh no, I need to come up with a contingency for that county.
Right.
But the other thing that's really nice is when you bring in that pocket query onto Cachely, I use Cachely a lot.
Yeah.
Then if you click on the individual cache on the map and you map it, Cachely is good when it just gives you that rectangle preview about the cache. It will show you in color dots what the last 5 logs look like. And if you all of a sudden have a cache that's got 4 DNFs in a row, then you might need to do a little more research as to why people are not able to find that cache and maybe thinking about getting another option. But I'll personally use Project GC mainly as a research before the trip.
One thing,
Yeah, me too. And not only research before the trip, and we'll get into this later.
Here's what it looks like on the. I'm just showing real quick that you can pull it up on your phone.
Oh yeah, I've done
a really old
phone,
phone, but it's like
the field.
Yeah. The nice thing about doing this too on the field is you can kind of tell it updates, but it's not like it does take a little time, so you can't freak out and go, hey, I just found that county and it's red. You do have to wait a little bit.
Well, so research beforehand, and then when I get home, kind of cleaning up logs and stats and stuff like that, which we're going to get into towards the end of the show, but that's the main 2 times that I use it. But anything I do, I send over to Cachely, and then it's available in the field out there. So
you were asking real quick, Nate, I'll tell you that we did Cache Tour. Will be you can go back and watch it on it's show 156 on July 7th. We did Cache Tour.
Okay.
We also did more of a we did a Project GC with that you kind of missed. That was March, was show 141, in case you want to people want to go back. Cachely, just out of a real quick note before we get back into the next part of the topic here is we're doing a Cachely show in a few weeks, actually in 2 weeks. Nick will be with us. We're going to talk about Cachely on show 168. And I want to also mention real quickly that we are doing a CGO show. Our first CGO show ever will be a couple weeks after that. So good news for our Android users. We're going to do CGO. We've got somebody will be on. I'm gonna keep that a secret who we're having on for that, but an expert on CGO, because Jesse and I, we don't use CGO.
I am not an expert. I have not used it,
but we appreciate the people that do, and so we wanted to give them give them some fair billing, equal billing as much as we can. So there is that. Yes, Sherry. Finally.
Yeah.
Applause. We got a lot of applause in this chat room. Yes, we love you guys. We know that you love your Androids. We don't understand it, but we love you anyway.
You know what? I bet we learned something out of that show.
Oh, I bet we do too.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Hey, prior to going to iPhone, I will say prior to going to iPhone, I was Droid and I used CGO and loved it. It was great. So yeah, there's a lot of people that use it. It's a fantastic application for people that use Droid.
Yeah. a couple things. Like you said, you brought up a good point, and it kind of depends on where you are in the world. 'Cause remember, we're a worldwide show, but a couple things that we found. I think all three of us have had this happen, which is you get out to a spot and you're like, because I don't know what I'm not sure what this device is for. Maybe you guys can kind of explain to me. I don't know what this is.
That's an old phone, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know what this is. I think
it's Tetris. I believe that's to play Tetris.
That's what you try to find fish when you're out fishing, right? That's a fish detector.
Exactly. But
do you know what I can say about those? I have found more of those left in the field than I found caches with one of those.
That's good. That's real good. So obviously we live now in we're in the present time. Love it. There's direwolves. There's a Texas Instrument. Yeah.
Texas Instrument digital map.
It's a calculator.
It's a calculator. But we use these because we live in a real world. And so but
some people are nostalgic for those GPS though, man. They love them.
Don't get me started.
And paper maps too. People like that too. That's a different challenge for them.
Hey, I do still use my handheld GPS. Believe it or not, I sure do. I use it if I'm going hiking in the woods and say it's raining and there's bad weather. I don't want to get my phone wet and potentially where I can't use it for caching after I get off the hiking trail. So I will actually load caches onto my my handheld to this day.
Wow. Yeah, paperweights.
I'm a pass.
Yeah. I think people don't understand, and then, again, I don't want to go too far into this, but you can download, and this is something this is my other tip I want to mention is download, make you an offline list of all the caches you want to find, because we've been in parts of Texas that we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
And your GPS will still work on your phone, but Cachely ain't coming up.
You know what? That's that final step that I do almost all the time. So Project GC and Cachely, I send it up to Cachely and save it as an offline list, even if I don't think I'm going to be outside of service range, just because.
Yeah.
Just because it's easier to have to reload everything. It's got all the information saved on it.
Yeah. Don't forget to take and do offline lists.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
Yep. And then offline maps too.
Yes.
Cachely has that's a whole different topic, but Cachely has outstanding offline maps that I use all the time when I'm out caching.
And there's a good point too. So Project GC does tell you that their map lines may not be 100% accurate if you're zooming into the very edge, because they use like polygons or whatever.
Right.
They're not meaning for you to use that as 100% accuracy. Double check that. If something's like right on a county line, double check your caches if you're going out on a county run, right?
Right.
Check and make sure that it's actually in the county that you think it is, and it's not 15 feet outside of it.
Yeah, and I do not use caches on the county line to potentially qualify for a county, especially if I'm far away from home. My personal rule is I like to be at least a quarter mile inside the county.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I do too. That's just the easier way to do that.
Okay,
now
good.
Let's get into the really fun Gary's section, but
so apparently offline lists could on CGO. Thanks, Sherry. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys have that on your phones as well. So, or whatever you're using. So Tim, he's old and sort of senile. No, I'm kidding. He says he uses his GPSR, but for unplanned caching, I've heard that too, Tim. That a lot of GPSR users do use their phone periodically for that. But all right,
it sounds like as long as we've been on this rabbit trail, that we need to do a GPS cell phone show coming up.
Guess, yeah.
I mean, because there may be somebody out there that can justify it somehow.
Well, I know that Lamb Monkey can justify it. He can go for a whole. He could go probably for 8 hours telling you the joys and the beauty of using a GPSR. But
I'm going to say, let's just get back on track.
That would make for a good show if you had a GPS user and a phone and a diehard phone user together, and put it out as a debate, that would be fantastic.
And I know that's been kind of covered before on some of the other shows or whatever, but maybe it's time to revisit that again. Maybe
Right.
somebody's come up with something new. I'm just going to say Adventure Labs. Let's move on.
So Project GC.
Yes. Let's get back on track. Okay, so we're going to talk about challenges next. We want to do that?
Sure.
Let's do challenges. So let me bring up the screen with my challenge. I already got that one ready and fired up. And we found something interesting. We'll talk about it here in a minute. But so I've got one pulled up. So first, let's kind of, when you find one, it's real easy to run this checker. And I guess what I want to ask you guys is, let's go kind of in a reverse order. Let's show one, and then you guys kind of explain what we're really looking at here.
So you got pulled up the Texas County Challenge.
I do. The Texas County Challenge pulled up. How about that? And it tells you people who have checked it. That's what this is right here, right? Completed and also not completed. Oh, that's what that is. People have checked it, and that.
Mm-hmm.
Those the green number is how many people ran the checker and it said they qualified. The red number is how many people ran the checker and they did not qualify.
Okay, cool. So we're going to run it because I don't qualify, but I'm pretty close. So let's take a look at it. So I just, again, down here, profile name, I clicked on the little.
You're running your name through it, right?
Running my name through it. And I do run checker, and it runs it. And it says does not qualify.
The cool thing it has is it shows you which. Well, scroll through. It might. They're different checkers, and I asked somebody in the chat room if anybody's actually one of the builders. But so that one shows you the ones that you have. Does it show you the ones that you don't have also?
Let's see. It shows that I've got 222.
Okay, so it doesn't show the ones you don't have, but some of the checkers, which I use several times, I'll run it even though I know that I'm not qualified.
Yeah.
It's like if it's like a DT matrix, like
right.
with multiple loops or something, it will show you the whole thing and it'll show you what you do have and what you don't have.
Oh, cool.
And then it helps you keep up with it, or it'll say you've got 10 of the 12 or whatever they were. How the checker is built really depends on what the output looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me go back and pull up. Let me switch to a different person and different map because I think it'll be easier. So it's working way back. So
no, don't try that one. Never mind.
Okay. So this is the standard. This is the beginning challenge checker screen that we're on. It's got checker requests. What's a checker request? Is that somebody's wanting one built? Is that what?
Yeah, I think you're looking at the form.
Okay.
Right there.
Right.
Yeah. So in there, you can see checker request. So not only can you make a checker request, you can look at some other things, and there's news updates also.
Miscellaneous, checker news, script development. Yeah,
you can look at other people's ones that they've requested too, because it could be similar to what you're doing.
I like that. That's cool. Okay, and then we come down here and we can do a map. Let's do. Where do you want to go, Nate? You want to go to Tennessee?
Sure. Yeah, we can do Tennessee. See all the challenge caches in Tennessee.
Do Tennessee. Let's do all of them.
You also have the option when you're doing that is one of your the buttons that you can push right below the difficulty and terrain is disabled archive premium. So if you want to exclude any of those, I would definitely have archived and disabled checked. But another really cool one is you can exclude challenges that you have already fulfilled, that you qualify for. If you only want to see the challenges that you do not qualify for to maybe challenge yourself, then you can exclude the fulfilled ones. And then opposite, if you selected not fulfilled, you can see a map of all the challenges in Tennessee that you qualify for.
Which is pretty neat.
Now, this is something I really love, is that you can either show all of them, or I love the ones that have checkers. Boy,
yes.
I love the ones that have checkers.
Yep. And of course, every challenge that's published after the moratorium took place, and I believe it's 2016, they all have checkers now.
Which I know a lot of people didn't like at first, but for this particular reason, It's
I
all
love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Oh, did I pick the right people?
Yeah, I think you did. You don't have to pick any people for that. It's just showing you a map of challenges.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It's
Yeah.
making it right now. All right, cool. All right, yeah. Here
Map will
is.
pull
There
up
you go.
now. Yeah, there you go.
Let me.
If you zoom in on just northeast of Chattanooga,
So up here.
yeah, there's a cluster right there in Cleveland. Go down south just a little bit, south.
Right here.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are all challenges that I've created. I've been working on doing challenges for the city of Cleveland, Tennessee, that where I work, and so those are all a series of challenges. I'm actually in the process of developing some more, but you can see that I have quite a few there.
Look, I think I qualify for one. So the ones that have the red line through them are ones that I would not qualify for.
Right.
Correct.
And then
But-
the green check would be the one you are qualified for.
Look up here. Yeah, here's one, right?
So what
Yep.
is that one?
It's the Cleveland Breaking Tradition Challenge. So can we pull that one up?
Yep.
All right, it's been checked. This checker shows 4,000.
That's the checker.
there.
Yep.
So you could pull straight up from the checker, or you could pull up the cache.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Let me pull it by checker. Oh, by the way, see, there's the little button to send a cache to her. I could send it directly to cache to her.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, from that
You
button.
pull up a list of the ones you're qualified for, and then you could just go through
Click on it.
and make a map of them.
Yep. So let me click on that and bring it up this direction, so I don't have to. I can open another screen if we needed to, but oh, here it is. Okay. So let's run the checker. Let's see what we get. Yep, says I'm qualified.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's this according to this thing?
That's the
That's the checker.
lead to the challenge checker.
Oh, okay. Oh,
according
yeah.
to the challenge checker that you've just
Yeah.
looked at.
So
Right.
you could cut and paste that and put it right into your cache log.
So you could take this whole thing, cut and paste it, and put it in your thing. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And so then then the script output is showing you the caches that qualify for you completing that challenge, and that particular challenge is finding 100 non-traditional caches.
Oh, okay, cool. Yep. I've got 242. So
Yep.
and again, you've got here's an example log you can use. Just
And that's with script language in it. So you could copy and paste that right into your log.
Yep. And then it also just gives you the output of the script.
And
So,
the other,
so if you were going to take that, why don't we? This may be a good way to walk through that. So copy that and go to that cache page.
Okay. Copy this whole section.
Well, yeah, the script. Yeah, copy that.
Okay.
Now, before you click on anything else, what you can do, if you've copied that already, if you scroll up to the top, something to save you some time from having to go back to that map is right there where it says Breaking Tradition Challenge United States. There's a little icon right to the right of that. That'll take you directly to the cache page.
Oh,
There
here
you
the little box with an arrow pointing out.
Yep.
Oh, sweet. Now, did it bring it up?
It should open. I think it opens in another window.
It might. Let me go over to that window. All right. There we go.
There you go. And so that's the cache page for that challenge.
So if I were to do this, I would go log the cache. I could write a note and just put that in there.
Yeah. So if you put write note and put all that in there, now scroll to the bottom of it,
Okay.
of that note.
Oh,
And go to the next line. So what you want to do is you want to put in the brackets,
yeah.
put not dash signed, and then in bracket,
Oh, so you could do, is it,
like the square bracket, whatever that is.
yeah, where is it on the keyboard?
It's just above enter.
Oh, yeah. So you could do this. You could put not signed.
Yeah, make sure it's a square bracket. I can't see if it is or not. Not, and then it's got to be not dash signed.
Okay. So it's got to be that bracket.
Yep.
So what that is, that's the equivalent of like putting FTF in there, which we're going to talk about later.
Not dash sign. Add the dash between
Yeah.
not
Oh,
and signed.
okay. Gotcha. I'm gonna leave it. I want to take all that crap out of your thing. So it's gonna be not signed.
Yeah. So what that'll do is when we get to it later and we look at the challenge portion of your profile,
Yep.
that is what will allow that note to be listed on the section of the ones that you've signed. I mean, not signed, but are qualified for.
Oh, okay. So I got it in there now.
Mm-hmm.
It's got us in there, and it shows not dash signed.
Yeah. So when we get to that section of the profile later, that'll make more sense for everybody.
Okay. Where do we want to go now?
And if you stay on that cache page, if you go up, one thing that people will on any challenge cache, this is something that's required now, is is right there is the link directly to the Project GC checker on the cache page.
Oh, very cool. Okay, yeah, that's perfect.
Look at that nice. Scroll back up. Look at that nice, pretty cache page.
I know, it's
I
perfect.
love it when people put that effort in.
Look at that.
Look at that cache owner.
I know.
They got too much time on their hands.
Favorite point.
Hey, I'm going to do a quick little shout out here. And this is for anybody. If you're looking to spice up your cache pages, super easy to do. It's a website that I go to. It's free. It's called Canva, CANVA.com. And so on there, there's lots of different templates that you can use to create whatever. And they're fully customizable. And so I customized a template to come up with that right there. And then what I did is I download that as a PNG and then upload that as a graphic on my cache page, and then just in the HTML code, but in the URL for that graphic, and then it just goes straight on there just like that.
So Canva, CANVA.com?
Canva.com, correct.
Okay.
It's an outstanding website. And as far as HTML and doing spicing up your cache pages, that could be a topic sometime in the future.
Yeah.
So I'll put that in the notes. That'll be in our show notes for anybody that wants to go to that.
Yep.
But I have one question for you. How is it going to render out for somebody using a GPS?
I'm not sure about GPS, but it does.
Let it go.
I'm just being mean.
But it does show up on Cachely. If you select the cache on Cachely and go to the description for the cache, that graphic will come up just like you'll see it on the website.
Yes.
They're in the chat room. 3 Happy Campers. They're right there. They found it.
Yep. 3 Happy Campers lives here in the Chattanooga area. I shout out to them. I actually work with them on some really cool events. We have a lot of very, very cool events in the Chattanooga area. And I'll tell you, 3 Happy Campers, just a quick little tangent, puts on some outstanding events.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
They have a good YouTube channel as well for anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah, they do a great job on doing events. Yes. So yeah, they live here in the Chattanooga area. I see them fairly frequently.
Yeah, we're gonna plan on having them on. We just need to work out the timing of it. But we got to meet them at Geo Woodstock.
Yeah,
Jesse, when we had our we had the little vlogger summit, we got to meet them, and we'll get to see them at Going Caching. So
they will be at Going Caching. Yep, they will be there.
Look forward to seeing them. So all right, where do you want me to go next? Go back to the challenge page. Close this one.
Yeah, we can do that.
That'll be fine. We can. Oh, well, what we could talk about is how do you create a checker for your challenge?
Yeah,
if you're creating a challenge.
Do you want to do that from here, or do you want to go back to Project GC?
It would be on Project GC.
All right, so let me go back there. Let me switch screens, and we'll go back over to challenge checkers.
And this is something I know Jesse does. I've seen him on the forums. He also creates checkers, or has somebody else create the checkers, which we'll get into here in a second. But I have seen him on the forums.
Oh yeah.
So do I go back up to so
click on Challenge Checker Forums right there. The link.
This checker forum.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what you want to do, if somebody's thinking about creating their own challenge, you'll want to go and have a checker created for your challenge page.
Okay.
And so what you'll do is you'll go to the forums there, and under checker requests, you click on checker request, and let's see, you can also look through to see if maybe somebody else has a similar idea. But up at the top, there's a place for new topic.
Oh, okay. New topic. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So you would
can click on new topic.
Now, before you went to this, of course, you would check first feature and make sure there wasn't an old one out there.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You would make sure you'd go on to where we were just a little bit ago, where we were looking up the Texas County Challenge.
Right.
You would first look to see that challenge hasn't already been done.
Okay.
So
then you would start a new topic here.
Start a new topic, correct.
Let's go back and let's pull up. Jesse, do you have a topic you want to? Is there a search
challenge checker?
Yeah, or send me a GC and I'll put it in and probably come up in the request, won't it?
Yeah, just put in something like double Jasmer.
Oh, okay.
That's probably one that is out there a couple times.
Double Jasmer. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick search for that.
You've been challenged to create a challenge on the fly.
Yeah,
challenged it. All right, so here's a couple that come up under that topic. Oh, look. Oh, so you can search messages. They have a little message forum search option. Search authors. Search. Okay, so somebody put one in.
So another one would be looking at one that I've archived recently.
Well, or tell me one that's out there, and I can just put in a.
Okay, so I'll give you one. You can type in if you're searching for it. I think you could type in by the GC code, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So GC 82 N15.
Okay.
So that's a challenge checker I had built for something.
I think you may want to do 8, the number 8, 82 N15.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. It's 82 N15. See if it pulls it up that way. So what it should pull up is one for.
Huh.
Didn't pull it up that way.
82N15. Let's go to the cache page. We can do it that way. Or well, we can't really search it that way. We want to look at the. Let's do this. Let's just search. You got a space, don't you?
No, that's the author. So that's who's actually building the challenge.
Oh, is it? Okay. Because
Mm-hmm.
people are building it are like the Project GC people.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. All right. Well, very cool. All right.
You can search through a bunch of that and just see what they have, but I think when you go on the forums and you start building checkers,
Right.
it has to, check the rules first, but it has to go by the rules because they're going to check that. And you can look in there and see what a lot of other people are doing as well. But there's a good chance that your checker is going to be built in another challenge somewhere, which does a few things for you. One, it shows it's already built and you just clone it. Or two, you can get an idea of how popular it is in other places. And there's a lot of things you can do by checking in those forums like that.
Right. So you could come in here and you could say, like, for example, this person, theirs has been resolved. So
I'll explain what you're looking at here real quick.
Okay.
So when somebody's created a new topic,
right,
then you're looking at one that's resolved. So what will happen is you give the parameters that you want the challenge to follow. And in this particular case, it says they want must have found 10 caches in 20 different countries in a total of 200 caches. And one of those countries has to be Portugal. So that's interesting parameters there. But what they did is they gave the information, and the builder of the checker builders said, here's a checker for you, linked it. And the status is changed from new to awaiting feedback. The original author of the person that's requesting the checker will then click on it. they'll go through the checker. They'll make sure that it works for them. They'll check, say some people that may not qualify for it, just to make sure that it says they don't qualify. Look at the script output, make sure that it's exactly how they want it. If it is, then they'll come back on and say, that works perfectly. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then the status for that forum post goes to resolved.
Okay. Very cool. All right.
So there's a lot. We could do a whole show.
Yeah. We'll get back to doing some more Project GC stuff. I'm going to click on that one real quick just so we can kind of see.
I love the challenge. I can spend hours just playing around with the challenge part of it.
Oh yeah.
And the checkers, and I've got a few checkers bookmarked and that I like to go back and check my progress on things.
Yeah.
I'll use them multiple times to see how I'm doing. If they're kind of more odd ones that you're not just selecting one thing, but you can spend a lot of time on that page.
So, if we have just a couple minutes, I can explain the two ways, if somebody is wanting to create a challenge, the two ways that you can have a checker created.
Sure.
If we have a second. Okay.
Because we want to go on to forgotten FTFs and some other things too. But
yeah.
Okay. So just in a very quick nutshell, two things you can do. The number one is go to that forum page that we were just discussing a second and create the new topic. One thing that they're going to want on that forum page is they want a GC code already established.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to go ahead and create a cache page. You don't have to put any information on the cache page, but you want to create a GC code for that challenge. And then they want that on the topic, on the forum topic. So create me a checker for GC XXXXX. And this is what the parameters are supposed to be. Then they can create the checker. The second way that you can do it, if you go to a checker and you discover that somebody's already created a similar challenge, you have the option of cloning that checker to work for your cache page, and so it would have the exact same parameters. But it would just have your GC code to work for your challenge. So if you go on to Gary, if you just want to go to an already established challenge checker, and I'll show what we're talking about. And this is super fast.
Yeah.
That we can go through real fast.
I'll pull this one up here that we were just talking about. That was on the camera.
And while he's doing that, again, you want to already have a cache page established.
Mm-hmm. You need
the challenge already established.
I'll use yours.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
So go ahead and click on the.
Go ahead. Yeah, go to the checker page.
Click on the checker. We'll bring that one up. Yeah, because we're going to do a couple others. We're starting to run through the time, but we do have some more we want to do, so stay with us. We're going to do a couple other items in Project GC.
Okay. If you go down on the right side where it says use checker or view source, one of them is clone tag, and if you click on clone tag, it won't do anything. You can go ahead and do that. If once you already have a cache page established, then right there where it says GC code, you can type in that GC code for the challenge you've already created, and then hit clone, and then it will create the checker for your GC code. Oh,
cool! Very cool. Wow! So I can
that simply you could copy that challenge that you saw somewhere else and put it out in your own area.
Correct.
So do you guys usually end up doing a lot of cloning because you've got?
I'd say for my challenges, it's about 50-50.
Okay.
Some of them I have cloned. But then quite a few of mine also are original ideas, or maybe they're not original ideas, but I just couldn't find a checker that was already established.
Right. Okay. So one thing that you had found, you put in the notes to Nate that I thought was interesting is forgotten FTFs. We'll talk about that real quick. We got some other topics, but I did it for myself. And what's interesting is that I'm not an FTF hound, but I'm sure FTF hounds will cringe when they look at these because I didn't put them in correctly. That why it's showing up. It's saying, "Hey,
yeah,
you didn't log this correctly because it's showing up as a forgotten FTF."
Well, and also it could just be that you found it on the first day, or you're one of the first few logs. It's
Right.
not guaranteeing that you're an FTF, but it's saying there's a good chance that you could be.
Oh, okay.
And
There,
you have
it's
to go back
basic.
and check the logs, right? But
Yeah.
and then you
It's-
have to put in the tag for it, and then it can pull it up on your FTF list.
Correct.
Right.
And
So
basically what it's saying there is you either logged that cache on the day it was published, or you logged it on the same day that somebody else logged it. That was the very first log. So you were either the first to log or, first to find. And so they're saying, is this, were you first to find on this cache? Because you didn't actually tag it as a first to find. So
Right.
there's 3 different tags that you can put on your cache log that Project GC will recognize and will put it as a first to find for you.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. So let's go to.
So how would somebody pull up the forgotten FTFs list? We did it on the video, but let's explain that for the audio as well.
Oh yeah, it's under profile.
So on
click on profile.
Yeah, let me go up there. Profile,
and then
forgotten FTFs.
And it says forgotten FTFs. So that's a good one. So that's how people can go and check that.
FTF list would show all the FTFs, or you could. So FTF list. Put in SuperNate. If I can spell it right. There's no spaces.
It's a underscore between SuperNate. Yep. There you go.
Is it TN or nope?
Nope, that's it.
Cool. And let's filter for that. Here's Nate and Rebecca's. She's got her account list. This is Nate's.
That one's actually my first to find list. So those are the ones that I've actually been first to find on. That I have the first to find tag in the log.
Okay, cool. That's cool. Georgia, what are you doing? Stealing people's FTFs? Dang.
Hey, it gets even better if you look toward the bottom.
You got a Texas one, don't you?
I have a handful of There's some Kentuckys. I have a handful of Californias.
North Dakota, how dare you, sir? How dare you steal from those wonderful North Dakotans?
Hey, and a shout out to some friends of mine out in California. There was 6 or 7 new caches published in California right there. Those right there. And there's a couple first to find hounds in California and in that part. And as I was signing the log, they were pulling in. And so I was pretty proud of beating them out.
Hey, it's a dog eat dog world for you FTF hounds.
Hey, I love it when there's a race for first to find. It's a lot of fun.
You got a ton of them. I don't have that many. I just don't. Yeah, I don't have that many opportunities. But this one you had to find your own, right? SuperNate, 30th birthday cache.
Oh yeah. That was a special surprise that my wife did for my 30th birthday last year. She hosted an event on our screen porch here at our house, and then without me knowing, she got with a bunch of my caching friends and said hi to Cache for the N30 project. And so on my birthday at the event, she somehow worked it out with the reviewer. I don't know how she did this, but the reviewer published all 30 caches during that event. So after the event happened, awesome. I didn't realize this was going to happen, but we went out on a first to find run. It was great.
That's awesome.
My wife is amazing.
All right. So I want to go backwards a little bit. I want to show this screen.
And Direwolf just mentioned in the chat there.
Oh yeah.
The tags that you have to do in your log to get Project GC to recognize it as a first to find. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
That'll be in the notes as well.
Yeah. I forget those sometimes. I just write FTF and move on, and that's why it doesn't really maybe show up.
I need to remember first to actually log the cache. Then I'll try to remember the tags.
There you go. Yeah. You get number 1, log the cache. Number 2, use the correct FTFs. Yeah. Now I think I've gone back before and I've fixed my log, and it'll actually eventually
it'll update.
It'll update. So now this is kind of cool because I think everybody likes to do these kind of items, and this is one of the reasons I really love. What the heck? All right, let me go back. I was going to show profile. Sometimes
Oh yeah.
Project GC, and this is something I think people need to remember, is sometimes GC goes a little wonky.
It's crunching a lot of data.
Yeah, it
It
is.
is.
It's probably all the
You just scroll
geocaching.
down, it's probably already on there.
It's
but
probably all the geocache talk people watching
It
right
is.
now
there
that's
you go.
They're all
jamming the
jumping on
system.
there. They're hitting it because it gets hit. So okay, well here we go. We got it up. Y'all see that? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So hey, look at that. This guy here, he just passed 12,000 fines.
I
Congratulations.
did
That is
last
quite a
last
few.
week.
Wow.
Yep.
With that, it's going to require.
Oh my dear.
Oh gosh.
I got my 12,000th was overlooking the Pacific Ocean in
I know, I
in
saw that
California. It was
picture.
awesome.
Yeah, I've been
Very
sharing
cool.
the picture all week in Twitter, but
So I think the profile stats are really neat.
They
and you
are.
can spend days talking about all the information
Oh
on
my
there, but
God,
there's some
yes.
really good stuff on there that I think people might overlook.
I love seeing things like the most counties in a day, most states in a day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most countries is always everything. This is another fun one for me. I love is the most cache types in a day.
Mhm.
I think that's always interesting because usually there's always a story, and I've told my story way too many times about going to Moga and doing all those caches with with Geo Derek and his dad, and it just brings back so many great memories. And so, which a lot of these other ones do too. So your most northerly cache tends to have.
That was Alaska.
Yep. See, it brings up great memories. Your most southerly cache.
That's let's see, southern. That one right there is going to be Honduras.
Yep.
Mhm.
Westerly,
Also Alaska.
right, which is ironic in its own way. Easterly is the cornerstone.
I don't remember that one. I don't know where that one is at.
Then you have ones at 11,000 feet.
That's on the ski slopes in Colorado. They actually have a cache, that Copper Mountain one, that on the ski slope as you're coming down.
Mhm.
I actually had to take my skis off and tromp through the powder to get to the cache that's hanging up in a tree. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. And then you found one minus 20 feet, probably like a Florida cache or something, maybe tsunami.
Yes, that is Florida. Yes.
What are the things on here, Jesse, that you like to look at?
So oddly enough, I found out there's one that's
Tips in a day.
most consecutive months with an FTF,
Oh yeah,
which I found out after I'd done it, right? So I got on Project GC, and apparently at one point I had 10 months in a row with FTFs, and I wasn't trying for that. I just happened to get it. I didn't know that till after it was over.
right.
No, I'm sorry. It was 14 months in a row with an
cool.
FTF.
Very cool.
But then the one that comes after that, log length, that is actually an interesting one for me because I go in there and check every once in a while, and it updates as you go.
Yeah.
But like my longest one is 758 words. The average is 146. But they also have shortest. So very beginning of mine, I would put like ... or something like that. I was going to go back and update it later, and I didn't. So now I go back and at least update a little bit. Like this is not how to log a cache,
Yeah.
So mine every once in a while will show up or there's always a 1 on there. So
Right.
you've forgotten to go back and log a cache, and some of those are really good ones, in the past. So I'll go back and add a little something to it, look at the picture, see what I did, add it on there, at least say thanks, and sorry I logged it with TFTC in the first month or something.
Right.
I think that's a pretty interesting one.
Then the stats just go on and
It's really cool stats.
I love this one too. Your way to Fizzy.
Yeah.
Your way to 81. It's kind of neat to see. Oh, that one was the one I used for my 1.5, 3.5.
Correct.
What's also cool before we fly past it, go back up to right above that way to 81.
Yep.
And that's your chart.
Yep.
So for the audio listeners, it lists the first one you got of that difficulty in terrain, but above that, it's a chart as you're filling it in or how many times you're going through it.
Yep.
but right at the bottom of that chart, it's got DT matrix tool.
Yep.
So if you're trying to fill it in for another loop, that's it. You don't have to click on it now, but if you click on that, and there's a few other places like this, it'll go straight to a filter that'll help you find out where you can go find the ones that'll fill in the rest of that map for you.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go straight to the checker that page. Yeah, absolutely.
So, like say you've done it all once, you're going for your second time. If you click on that, you can do it for a second loop, and it'll help you by area. You can filter it all out where you need to go to fill that chart in again.
Same thing with if you're trying to do finds by found date.
Yep.
Which
or hidden date, or the Jasmer by hidden month.
And then Jasmer's down here, finds by hidden month, which also has the hidden month tool. Click here. You don't have to go hunt for that tool. It's on your profile.
Yeah.
Right.
So very cool.
I'm missing some 2000s.
You're not too far away though.
No,
you've almost got it though.
Need to get out to. I want to get to Mingo. That's very high.
I suggest Mingo Madness.
I know when you should go.
Mingo Madness. Yep. Shout out
in May for the Mega Mingo Madness May Mega.
Have not committed to that yet, but I am looking at it.
Yeah. Well, we got some more. We're doing a show in November about it, and Jesse and I have got even more unbelievable news to tell you about Mingo Madness.
On that one,
we're working out with the whole team. We've got huge news, so people need to stay tuned for that because we got some big news. I can't even talk about it. All right,
so we got a lot of stuff to still get to.
Found by owner
on this. We're not going to get to it all. I know.
No, well, okay. Well, I'll skip that. This is enough on the profile, but
yeah,
find by owner is fascinating to see.
Oh yeah,
collected types. This is one thing I know that Electric Water Boy worked hard to get all of his, because collecting attributes is not always easy. You can get a lot of them, but there's the team one. It's hard sometimes to find that, and also some of these negative ones. You found all 41, but some people have. It's hard to find sometimes a cache who somebody put no, whatever it happens to be. Do not climb the tree. Although I try to put in extra attributes just to kind of help out my cache, hoping somebody will come by that doesn't have that particular one. But
there you go.
All right, let's talk about. All right, we're down. See my note in the show. I'm about there. Where do you guys want to go next?
So we don't have to go to it. We'll just fly through it. But the trackable discovery, I think that's a big one. It's like log them all.
Yep.
You can do that right from Project GC, so you don't have to go to another website to do that.
Yep.
But I think as far as one of the places that I use this a lot is to clean up like the one-word logs. But one of the other things would be that the duplicate logs on your own caches. So kind of cleaning up your own logging plus other people's logging on your stuff. Or, if you've logged your own, if you want to pull that page up, that's a pretty good one we can go through.
Yep, we'll do. Just want to put out Carl, our friend in Norway. It's got to be early. Got to be early over there, dude. How early is it? Carl, tell us what time it is in Norway, because it's early, man.
That's I believe that's going to be under profile on the profile tab, and then find bad logs.
Yep, that's it.
I'm pulling it up right now, and then I'll show the screen. Okay.
Now this is something. Geocaching has a thing in place now where you cannot duplicate log anymore.
Right.
But if you've never run this checker before, or if you've never run this tool before, this is very powerful to see where maybe back in the day before geocaching set that up, where you've accidentally duplicated logs.
Or even have done it on purpose. Right. Because at one point, people would use that as an event. They would use, before they had lab caches out, people would hide caches at an event, and they would let them log it 2 or 3 times to show that they had found the temporary caches at that event. Or some of the challenges, like there'd be a Jasmer challenge, and if you looped it twice, you could log it again.
Oh, what's interesting is these are ones I own that I've logged.
So those are yours, right? And on the screen it shows logs, logged on caches, and then what Gary's on is
it'll show people's logs too.
Yeah, duplicate logs on his caches.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are the instances.
All those people have logged them twice or more.
Correct.
When they probably shouldn't have.
Right. So if you,
Like if I just pull one up.
pull it up.
So this one found it.
You've gone to a different screen. You're still on the Project GC screen.
Okay, I'll flip over to this one. So probably they, like you said, they probably logged it too many times.
Yep.
Hopefully that cache hasn't been found a gazillion times, and we have to scroll down to try to
It hasn't
find
been
that
found
log.
too many times, but Blazer, right? So we're looking for Blazer.
Does
Look at
Project GC, when you hover over it, does it tell you the date that it was double logged? I
Well,
didn't
if
catch
you
that.
click on the GC number, just the GC number, it will go to the actual log that's doubled.
Oh,
Oh, will it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you click on,
Okay.
it should. Yours had multiple, so that may be why it went to the page. But if you click on one of the ones that just has one, it'll go to the actual bad log.
Oh, okay.
And then you can do a little research and you can clean it up, and somebody probably just duplicated it and did it. But you have a pretty good list there, I believe.
Yeah, let me go back and let me pull up this other one I'd pulled up, which is it's one of my quick LPCs. So this one,
there it is. Yeah, and you can note the date right there, November 2015. And if you wanted to scroll down to November 2015, you can show where that person's log.
right?
There'd be two logs in there, and you could just delete
Yeah,
one.
there you go. You're getting close. I think you passed it.
Here we go. November of 2015.
Yeah, November 2015.
All right, there we go. No, November.
Right there.
Yep.
So who was the one that logged it?
Oh, right here.
Right there. Yep.
Yep. So there's two of them that say the exact same thing.
They haven't found many caches, so it won't matter. But I follow you though, so I could delete
Yeah.
this one.
And now they're going to randomly get a message, an email saying
Hey,
that
they've only
their
found
log,
19 caches. They need to get back out there.
their log from 2015 just got deleted.
Right.
Now, what's funny is they'll click on that cache and they'll go back and they go, no, I've still logged this cache.
Yeah,
They'll
exactly.
be kind of confused.
So yeah, sometimes I'll actually message the person
Yeah.
when I delete it and say, hey, don't be alarmed. It was just
Right.
a duplicate log. You've still got credit for finding the cache.
Yeah. I do that as well. I think it's worth the time to do it so somebody doesn't get all confused or whatever.
Yeah.
I like it.
If you pull mine up, it's terrible because my caches were the ones that were at Mega.
Right.
So those things got totally destroyed. People logged them twice, and I got like a 200 on the left side there that I should go through and do, but I don't have the time for that right now.
I ain't got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's right. I'd rather do my own caching than worry about somebody else's bad logging.
I gotta pull this up, and then we'll wrap up with this because there's so many. It's wait. I put your name in. Hang on. Filter.
It goes way down. And then, like, so the logged on is I'd
Oh, you got, like,
for somebody that had to adopt them out from them.
Yeah.
And I've
got
cleared a bunch of those already, and there's still tons left in there.
You got pages and pages and pages.
So that's a lot of fun. They're all the Denver to Botanic Garden things.
There's some other ones too. You got some where I goes out here that have messed up.
No, those are mine that
logged
and
on.
then adopted later.
I got you. And there's a duplicate log category. I like that. That's interesting.
Pretty cool.
All right, we've got to do a show. We got to do another show.
We can't finish this one without talking about the map compare real quick, though.
Okay, you want to do map compare?
We can maybe get into that later, but that's the one I love. One of the ones I love the most.
Okay.
Is like me and a buddy will go out caching, and you could do multiple people, but we'll do an area and we'll filter out the ones that we've both found. You can do this on Cachly and stuff like that too, but if you're wanting to do the research ahead of time, you can do a cool map compare, and one of you found it, the other one hasn't found it. Like say me and my buddy are going out and we're going to do a big caching run tomorrow, but I'm going to go caching today ahead of time in the same area. I'll filter out all the ones he's found, and then I know I'm not going to mess that plan up for the next day.
Yeah, I like that. It's under tools, by the way, if you're wondering about that.
You can do that with multiple people as well, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'll pull it up real quick. The map compare screen. I'm same way. We do that when we do our Motley caching crew.
And now you can do that on the fly with Cachly, but if you're wanting to research ahead of time and pull up a bunch of filters and stuff,
Right.
this is a pretty good tool for that.
Right. Oh, I didn't put in. Let me go back. Oh, so you can go to
An area.
cache location. Say Texas. Oh, that we both found. You're right.
Instead of clicking that, there you go. You can do that drop down, save you from having to click the back button.
Both found. And there we go.
There's a Oh, that must be Cadillac Ranch. I was like, there's a random one up there in the Panhandle.
Yeah, these are all caches that I've found that also Jesse's found.
Oh, that's funny.
So, hey, look, Tyler, those are the ones we found together down at the Texas Challenge. But it's very handy because, like you said, you can start to kind of determine what you want to do with your group, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, that's it. We're done.
We can't hit all the other cool stuff. We are
about
right.
Event statistics. No, just kidding.
We got to wrap up.
We're gonna have to save. We're gonna have to do it again because
we'll do
definitely some more stuff. And we kind of glanced over, kind of glazed over some of that stuff too. There's a lot more you can do with it.
Yeah, we blew through some of them. Oh yeah, Direwolf is like, I have 5 fewer fines. Thanks, right? Sorry, buddy. We ruined your night.
Hey, but now your numbers are accurate.
Yes, Burnt Turtle's asking, can you do that on Cachly?
Yeah, you can in your filters, which it would take us a little while to.
Yeah.
You know what? When we do Cachly coming up, we'll make sure that gets in there.
Yeah, you can also do this. I've done it on filtering on just the geocaching page too.
Yep. Oh, we're gonna have to do another Project GC show.
That's all. Yeah, we do it all the time, man. It's just 2.5 hours until I start my 13.5-hour shift at work. Oh man.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, I see that Pathfinder 33 is on here.
Oh, cool.
Shout out to him. I just learned that he put it on Facebook that he just connected the counties from Atlantic to Pacific.
That is awesome.
So congratulations on that awesome challenge. That's a great challenge completion right there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So now he could go out and try to find any kind of challenge caches that are done, and he could put it on his list of, he can go find those challenges now that he's completed it. He could add that to his list. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of Project GC is using these tools. It really helps you think about I can't imagine doing this without Project GC. I really can't.
No, and we hadn't even gotten into some of the stuff that I use it for all the time either.
Yeah. Did you want to mention them?
No, we'll save it for another one because it's more than a rabbit hole. So
okay.
We're way down there.
Yep.
You should just have a rabbit hole show sometime.
There you go. That would be like 8 hours long.
We have no agenda. We're just going to start talking and see where it leads us.
See where it goes. Yeah. We do a few of those.
That would be fun, actually.
All right. Oh, yeah. He's, TW Ryder mentioned about your shirt. Yep.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. If anybody missed it before.
There you go.
Yeah,
there. I like that one.
2014, right?
2017
was that one. Okay, cool. All right. So next week we are going to do a show kind of interesting. We're going to do a show about 3D printing with Antaeus and C. Nelson, but we're going to approach it from a little different angle. We're going to talk about because these two have done a lot of 3D printing, but they've done it for a while now. So we're going to talk about how are they holding up?
Mm-hmm.
What are the new, latest, and greatest tools in the 3D printing world that you need to know about, and getting some expert advice from them on what is some long-term things to think about when you're doing 3D printing.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, we're going to talk about Cashly again, 5.2 with Nick. We'll talk about all those kind of cool little items. In 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh, is that only 3 weeks from now?
3 weeks. Can you guess what we're doing in 3 weeks? On a Saturday night, by the way.
That's right.
We're doing a live show.
Another live show.
And we're doing it from Going Caching. We're doing it from the stage.
From the main
Going
page.
Caching.
That's right.
At the very end of Saturday, and the reason we did it this way is because there's a little bit of a window between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. because at 8 p.m. the big soiree starts that night.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to get a show in where people can watch the show, and they can also get back to their hotels and change clothes, etc., and get ready for the thing at 8. So you got some time in there. So if you're coming to going caching, then definitely plan to stick around at 5. That will be the end of the main things that are going on the stage, and we'll be ready to go right then for that.
So Lori asked, "Will the live show be in costume?"
Oh, yeah, I'll be wearing mine.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I'm not gonna have time to do a whole lot. I can't because I'm not staying in Rome, so I'm not driving back to where I'm staying and drive because I didn't get a hotel room nearby. So
you're saying that you'll be in costume.
I'm gonna have my regalia on my whole.
You know what this calls for? Sound effects. Sound effects. Cue the sound effects.
Cue the no. I can't do it. Can I do it?
So not only will it be a live show and in costume,
yeah.
If you're there, come out and support us. We don't have our own laugh track, so we need people to really laugh when we be loud and
exactly. Hey, wait, I can add a laugh track.
We can do that. It's for another show live and in person. We can have an actual cheers. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh, and then Direwolf says we have to talk like a pirate the whole time. So I don't know about that.
That would not be entertaining for anybody.
Lori, she's done with that. Don't bring that horn to going caching.
Oh gosh.
All right, I won't. I'll come up with a pirate one. How's that?
Yeah,
there you go.
That will be a fun experience. Doing it live should be a lot of fun. So
yeah. All right. Final thoughts.
Project GC is awesome.
You know, it is. I spent more time on there than I do on geocaching.com. And Direwolf said, "Aren't all your shows live?" Well, that's true, but I meant live in front of people.
Live audience. There you go.
But what I would say, one of the things that I use Project GC for that we didn't really get to get into tonight is inspiration. When I'm looking for my new goal and it's not a challenge, like we've talked about this on the show, I think before, at least Gary and I have offline or whatever, but, you know, finding the most in an area, you know, you may want to just compete with your county. And I found the most traditional caches in my county, or even hiding the most in your area. You may want to hide the most where I goes or host the most events. And it just is a fun thing for you to do. There's so many weird stats that you can go, you know what? There's even one for like who's uploaded the most photos.
Yeah.
Right. So pick a weird stat and go, I want my name to be number 1 on that list. Even if it's only there for a short period of time, that can just be a fun thing to do. You're always reinventing what you're doing in geocaching. So you can find all kinds of weird stuff. Oh, yeah, blackout a county. That's a good one, Owen said.
Yeah.
Think about that. You pull up a county, you found every cache in that county. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of weird stuff you can do to really find, you know, something new to challenge yourself. So it didn't always have to be find 10,000 caches or 12,000. Right. It could be, you know, I want to get all the letterboxes in all the counties around me. And, you know, who else has done that? Well, I can look and find out. So there's so many weird things that you can find out on there. It's a lot of fun to do, and you can kill a lot of time doing it.
Yep. No, I love it. That's wonderful. Oh, yeah. So, Ryan, he's number 1 for souvenirs in my state.
That's pretty good.
Cool. See, how random is that?
That's random.
Random, but he knows that, right? So that's kind of funny.
Project GC. So, yeah. All right. Good deal. Well, very cool. Very cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
I'm hoping a lot of people that are there, we can get out and go caching in some groups and find a lot of good caches around there. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Looking forward to. I won't be there as long as you guys, but I'm still looking forward to the couple of days I'll be there. So, all right, let me play not the horn. But
Thank you.
Let me play this instead.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight, as well as our new format. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.
All right, good night, everybody.
See ya.
Right.